Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Around South Jersey. One of my very favorite people is here with me tonight, and I thank him so much for coming. It's Harold Johnson, and of course, we all know you as Hal. And Hal is just, I mean, look at this man. I mean, spiffed up, always looking great, and just has a great sense of humor and a great personality. And thanks for coming, Hal. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Jim, for allowing me to be here. It's a great honor to sit here and to talk with you and to talk to the people in South Jersey.
Yeah, exactly. And there's so many great things that have been happening. Let's start back with your life. Did you grow up in Fairfield?
I grew up in Fairfield Township. Okay. Actually lived next door to the house I grew up in.
Oh, wow.
And so I grew up my whole time there, and I went to Cumberland County College after graduating Bridgeton High School.
Did you have Bob Felmy at Bridgeton High School?
I knew of Bob Felmy at Bridgeton High School, but he did not teach me. I didn't take his class because everybody took it before me, and the lines were too long. And
he's my cousin.
I wasn't able to do that. And then I went to Cumberland County College and graduated in 1978. And then I went to the University of North Carolina, so that little southern twang in my voice.
Oh, that's where you got that from.
2 years in Wilmington, North Carolina, and then came back and went to law school in Wilmington, Delaware.
Wow.
And then came over and started practicing law here in Cumberland County. Started with a firm, Capizzola, O'Neill, and Feynman years and years ago.
I know them. Good people.
Yeah,
good guys.
And then worked with Joe O'Neill alone for a little while, and then with my good friend Steve Nieder. Worked with Steve Nieder.
Best friends too.
Then he became the prosecutor, and I sort of inherited a practice, and he gave me sort of my jump start, and I thank him for that. And it's his 75th birthday coming up. We can give him a shout out.
Yeah,
Happy birthday.
You bet.
Happy birthday, Judge Nieder.
You know what? I got to call him. Maybe for his birthday, I'll take him to a Phillies game.
Yeah,
because he's a great guy. He was. In fact, it's funny. Later on, we're going to talk about the middle mile and about cable TV and stuff, and he was the one who helped me get the cable television started. It was Clover Cable in 1980. Mm-hmm. Steve was my attorney, and we actually served Morris River, Commercial, Down, Fairfield, Deerfield, and Lawrence Townships. We had 6 townships that currently have the cable, thanks to me and my partner, Joe O'Donnell. And, of course, Steve Nieder was our lawyer that helped put that together.
Yeah, so I practiced law in Cumberland County primarily for 19 years. Had the honor of serving in a lot of positions. A lot of nice government officials allowed me to serve with them, and I think one of my favorite jobs was prosecutor of the city of Millville for many years, and then I had the honor and assistant solicitor of the city of Millville, and I represented Fairfield Township and Morris River Township, and did some work in Hopewell and Shiloh, and it was a great honor to serve in those positions. And then, as we all know, after about 19 years, I had the opportunity to wear a black robe for 20 years and to be the honor of being a New Jersey Superior Court judge for 20 years, and retired on July the 1st, 2022.
So you just celebrated 1 year anniversary.
Yeah, just celebrated 1 year.
But you couldn't stay out of work, thank God.
Yeah,
you were kind enough to take a position.
I helped my wife off to work in the morning and walked the dog and sort of wrote a lot. And I had the honor of working with a law firm in the Cherry Hill area for a little while, doing some mediations and arbitrations. I wasn't as busy as I would have liked to be. It was a little bit of a humbling experience for me, and then a call came, and a group of people asked me if I would consider. Really, originally there was talk of me being an assistant to the business administrator, but it all sort of. I interviewed with some individuals, and ultimately the plan changed, and they asked me if I would consider being the business administrator. And on January the 6th of the year 2023, I had the honor of the commissioners appointing me to that position, and have served there and worked very hard since then.
Well, you've done it. I was so happy. I got to tell you, folks, this is the truth. Hal and I have a mutual friend, and he was telling me, he said, we're working to try to get Judge Johnson to take that business administrator position. I said, oh my God, that would be so wonderful. And it has been, to your credit, or to his, what he said is true. And it's just wonderful having you there. And I mean, we were moving business administrators around when I was there. Ken McCouch had left, and then the Wood lady, Kim Wood, came in, and then she retired, and then Jody was there for a while, Jody Hirata, but she was having some medical problems, and good people, but boy, nobody's better than you are at this job, and I'm just so happy you're there. That's great. You know,
well,
really is.
Thank you for the kind words. I do my best and have a great team working with me, a group of individuals that are there, and we work together to try to make sure that we do what the commissioners ask us to do, and we follow their instructions and follow their votes and implement what they ask us to implement. And that's what we do as best we can.
Well, it certainly seems to be running very well. I mean, we're 6 months into, just about 6 months and a few days into the term, and I was saying to you, when I was there as a county commissioner, the meetings were 3 and 4 hours long. To everybody's credit, I don't know if you're a part of it, but thank you. Thank you to all of the people there that the meetings are running very efficiently, and you know, it's just really nice. And I will say, I'm so proud of all of the county commissioners, especially Director Albrecht, who has said he wants transparency. And boy, you know how, of course, we televise the meetings, both meetings, the agenda meeting and the regular meeting, and there is no newspaper. You know, we used to be covered all the time, as did the local municipalities. And unfortunately, and I understand why, the newspaper business is suffering. Everything's online. Everything's on, you know, YouTube, whatever, that type of thing. And it really is hurting. They're hurting, so they don't have the people.
Well, this commission has instructed us to be just that, transparent. Be transparent. We want to televise the meetings. We want the meetings to be available, what we call hybrid meetings, be available on TV and per Zoom. And we have the telephone on so people can actually call in on the telephone and listen to the meetings. And so we try to be absolutely transparent with the meetings. And then I'm sure that you know also this commission and Director Albrecht and Deputy Director Romero have instructed us and had us go and have meetings in other townships.
Yeah.
We've actually had meetings in Upper Deerfield and in Mars River. Mars River was first, Upper Deerfield, and in June we had a meeting in Down Township. And I don't want to say it surprises me, but in each of those meetings, the room was packed because people came and were there and were interested, and it was a very good thing. I think it's good for government to have this commission to be that open and to be and also I have to give credit to the people who work so hard to allow us to do that, because you can't imagine the difficulty and the technicalities of arranging a meeting. And we have a couple of employees, I don't know whether I would embarrass them by calling them out, but we have a couple of people who work so hard, a lot of people that work hard to make sure that those meetings, because a meeting outside of a normal meeting venue is a load of work. And they work very hard. It's not work on me, it's work on my coworkers, and they do a really wonderful job.
They do, and they work with my people because, of course, we're putting the telecast together, and they've been very helpful and very kind. It was interesting. I saw the meeting in Down Township. My goodness, they had really comfortable seats there. It was, you know, some of the people, the normal ones. Mrs. Ridgway had a wonderful seat, I saw.
We were talking about, oh my gosh, we want to have the meeting here all the time. The seats are really comfortable because, you know, Mrs. Ridgway could sit there and some of the other people who sometimes look a little uncomfortable in those sort of pew-type seats that we have without any cushioning, they could sit in great comfort in Down Township. And Ms. Ridgway was one of the first people to tell me, you should have all your meetings here because, you know, it's a great place, comfortable place to sit.
Well, you know, it's interesting. When I was and you also, I forgot to mention that Hal was a freeholder, and we'll talk about that a little bit, how you got elected. But during that period of time, we were in the courthouse in a big courtroom. That's where the meetings were. And then all of a sudden, when I came back as a county freeholder, before they changed the name, we were in this room. And once in a while, we would go to one of the courtrooms for like the swearing-in ceremony. But basically, we were just in this room, which I was not happy because it's a little smaller, but they did extend the dais and stuff. So
I mean, the room in the courthouse was probably one of the most aesthetically beautiful rooms with the marble, and it was before 1970. Remember the big 26-member freeholder
that's right.
board?
I forgot. Yeah.
And then in 1971, the freeholder board went to 7 seats, and so they still held meetings in that room for a long time. But that room now is a jury assembly room in the courthouse in Cumberland County. But it's the most beautiful jury assembly room that you can imagine, and still has the big Cumberland County seal, Cumberland County freeholder seal, the last I remember there. And but now we have our what I call the voting meeting, the fourth Tuesday of the month. Usually in the courthouse, unless in that particular month we're having the meeting in one of the township buildings.
That's good.
And then there's a room that's set up in the administrative building, and tomorrow night, the second Tuesday, for what we call the work session, we have a meeting in the county administration building on Broad Street. On Broad Street. The room that's behind us here. Yes,
that's where. I'm glad to hear. I didn't realize you guys were still, because I know where the courthouse, the meeting is there, and that's nicer. As we said, we had the swearing-in ceremonies, at least, I don't know, this year you did, but several years
it's actually called the Freeholder Meeting Room. It was actually designed to be the Freeholder Meeting Room, but it was drafted to be a courtroom. And Judge Stanger first sat there, and
there's another great guy too.
It was drafted to be a courtroom, and so my first boss when I wore that black robe, Judge Stanger, was up there for the last few years of his career as the assignment judge of the 15th vicinage.
I got to tell you a funny Judge Stanger story. 1991, I lost my freeholder seat. It was the Jim Florio backlash. So I get a notice that I'm due for jury duty. I'm thinking, how in the world can I do jury duty when I know the judges, I know a lot of lawyers, prosecutors? Well, it was grand jury. It wasn't pettit jury. So anyway, I had to go serve, which actually I enjoyed it. And I got there, and Judge Stanger was there, and he said, "Quinn, I want you to move over there." And then what he was doing was he was setting me up to be chairman, or is that what they call it? Chairman?
Four-person of the grand jury. You had to go every Wednesday for 17 or 18 weeks.
That's exactly.
You won or lost the lottery, however you want to look at it. It's not just a 1-week service.
No, it was 17 weeks.
It's a 17-week service.
And that $5 you got, I spent 10 across the street at the coach room having lunch.
You still get $5. You can hardly buy a soda these days. Not
true.
that I'm sorry. I don't want to cast aspersions on my past career, but
that was, I really enjoyed that. That was neat. I learned a lot, and I appreciated him having me as the foreman of the grand jury.
You really find out what's going on in Cumberland County. A lot of things that people don't know. That the prosecutor and that the courthouse deals with on a daily basis when you have the honor of serving as a foreperson or as a grand jury member. I'm sure it's a very interesting experience. I've never had the honor.
Well, you sat on the other side of the bench. So let's talk about, it was 21 years ago that you were appointed?
Yes, I was appointed. I was first appointed, and a lot of people forget this, but I was first appointed a workers' compensation judge.
Oh, that's right. I do remember that.
And I had the honor of serving as a judge of New Jersey workers' compensation for 6 months.
Oh, okay.
And then as of July, my good friends Judge Mendez and Judge Geiger and I were all appointed simultaneously.
Oh, that's great.
And we became New Jersey Superior Court judges. I can still remember the date, July 22nd, 2002.
Wow, Rich Geiger's my neighbor, and I just love Julio Mendez. I got a funny Julio Mendez story to tell you. There's a man with a heart, for sure. He and I are serving on the College Board of Trustees back in 92, 93, and position came open a gentleman who was a custodian, retired or whatever. So I said, let's outsource it. Let's go find, a company that'll come in and do this. He goes, Jim Quinn, what's wrong with you? I said, what's that? He said, there's a man or a woman out there with a family that needs that medical. They need that job. I said, I'm sorry. I said, I guess I'm being too fiscally conservative. So we went along with hiring somebody. But I truly have always felt, and being in business, if you get, in fact, before we went on the air, we were talking about outsourcing the county jail, which, unfortunately, we couldn't find anybody to take the prisoners.
Inmates. Yeah, the inmates.
Inmates, thank you, yeah. So, but I just find, and from what I saw, George Castellini and I were talking about it, we were on at the same time, that it cost the county $32 million then, it did, a year to take care of all the inmates and, all the salaries and everything you have to do. And if we could have outsourced it, it would have been between 20 and 22 million. So we would have saved about 10 million. And the other thing that we would have saved is a lot of lawsuits, which come along, unfortunately, with having a jail. But that's just part of the system that we have to deal with.
Well, the decision as to whether or not Cumberland County wants to be in the jail business or the nursing home business.
Oh, that's a good one, too. Yes, thank you.
Or the college business are all decisions that the commissioners have to make. And, minds may differ as to what they should do or should not do. But corrections is the largest expenditure of county government without any question. It doesn't come close, and it is a very, very difficult and expensive thing that we're dealing with at this time in regard to the decisions that were made in the past. There did come to be very many suits that arose out of the jail situation, and many of the assumptions that were made in regard to outsourcing the inmates very sadly did not come true. The counties that said that they would take the inmates declined to do so, and the county was left in quite a difficult position that we're still laboring in. And when I had the honor of being appointed to this job, the commissioners entrusted us, and we're working on it every day as to what to do and how to best resolve that issue in the best interest of the taxpayers of Cumberland County, because even today, every day, it's the largest expenditure that the taxes of the taxpayers of Cumberland County are going towards.
Well, I'm impressed. When Chairman Albrecht was on, he was talking about, which I thought was a pretty neat idea, and I don't know where it's moving, but Leesburg, they closed up part of Southern State or whatever. And at least I give them credit and the commissioners, they're looking at other alternatives, trying to see what's best way to do it. But again, you have to take care of the inmates, and I'm sure, to their credit, they are going to do what's best one way or another with your help, I'm sure.
We are looking at every option we possibly can. The commissioners have authorized us to do so. That's and have authorized us. We are in talks with a couple of counties in regard to the possibility of. We are always in talks with the counties trying to have the inmates be somewhere closer than Cumberland County, because right now, as we speak, over 200 Cumberland County inmates are in Hudson County, New Jersey, with a 3-hour round trip plus, if the traffic is good,
it could be
to transport them back and forth.
That's true. Good point.
The commissioners have authorized us, and we have had county employees and some contractors sort of do as much work to our existing usable part of our facility. Right. There are 3 parts of the Cumberland County Jail. There's the old jail, the new jail, and the annex. The old jail is unusable and can only be razed. The new jail, maybe with an awful lot of money, could be made useful again, but probably more money than it's worth. Right. The annex, what we have done is it is usable. We have painted it. We have improved the plumbing. We're trying to get as many of our inmates in there as we possibly can, because every inmate that we can keep in Cumberland County is one less inmate that we have to transport and pay for to be in Hudson County. And we've made agreements to maybe perhaps put inmates, female inmates in Salem County,
Oh, that's
because
good.
there's a nuance. If we have 14 to 15 or 16 female inmates, it takes up an entire pod in the jail of 46 or 52.
Right.
And if the female inmates can be perhaps in Salem, then that allows us to put, say, 46 or 52 male inmates, and it saves us that many inmates that don't have to be transported. And we work on that on a day-to-day basis. We work with the Department of Corrections head, a guy named Chuck Albino, who was appointed about the same time as me, who works very hard to keep everything there organized. And on a day-to-day basis, the commissioners, me, our county solicitor, we deal with those issues. And as you have said, there are suits. There are 40 existing suits out of the Cumberland County Jail.
Yeah.
Some of them very, very significant and concerning, and I can't really talk about them other than to say it's a drain on county resources and our efforts, but we'll do our best and resolve everything that we can fairly and reasonably and in the best interest of the taxpayers, and as the commissioners authorize us to do.
We're talking with the County Administrator, Hal Johnson, former Superior Court Judge in the County of Cumberland, and we'll be back to talk with Hal right after these messages.
At Mintz Insurance, we're proud to have been serving our customers for nearly 80 years, offering 30 different insurance products for your auto, home, and business. And to help ensure that you're getting the best rates possible, we give you up to 3 quotes for every policy, so you can choose what's right for you. At Mintz, we're part of the community. Local representatives, supporting events, and proud of it. It's part of who we are. Mintz Insurance. Call today and find out how we can help you save on insurance, or visit us at mintzinsurance.com.
In South Jersey, we do things our own way. We say things out loud, face things head on, and never back down. And that's how we fight cancer. With the most advanced diagnostics, leading-edge technology, and a team of doctors who know how to treat your cancer. And most importantly, we do it right here at the Frank and Edith Scarpa Cancer Center, Vineland, and the Leading Edge Cancer Center, Mullica Hill.
More than a century ago, General Tire was born, right here in America. Since then, we've made a name for ourselves by making tires you can depend on. Tires built to handle any road this country can throw at them, and relied on by every kind of driver. So you know that no matter where life takes you, with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Imagine living without pain. For over 35 years, Doctors Beebe and Doyle have helped thousands of people find relief from all types of pain. Millville Chiropractic Center has 4 doctors on staff specializing in hands-on or light-touch, drug-free pain relief methods. The examination, x-rays, therapies, and adjustments are all performed at one location. Schedule a consultation today. Enjoy life without pain and discomfort. Millville Chiropractic Center, the area's #1 pain relief center.
Welcome back to Around South Jersey. My special guest is the County Administrator, Hal Johnson, former Superior Court Judge. And Judge Johnson, when you were a judge, what areas did you have family, legal?
For 20 years, I was a family law judge.
Oh, God bless you.
And
that had to be heartbreaking.
I always say I don't know whether, because usually as a judge you have the honor of serving as a civil judge and as a criminal judge and as a family judge, but I was kept in the family division for 20 years, and my joke always has been I don't know whether that means I was good at what I did or too dumb to do anything else. And
I think it was you were good at what you did.
And as a family judge, you learn that the truth is usually somewhere between the two sides, what they're arguing, the polar opposite sides often that they're arguing, and it's probably true in that case too, but we'll see. We'll see. I did my best for 20 years. Wow. I worked hard.
Yeah, I know, and you had a great reputation, and what a tough job to do, to try to balance out, for children's sake and everything that goes along with a family court situation. But you got a good heart for it. The one thing, who did you get the great sense of humor from? mom, dad? Who had that?
Oh, I think it was my dad.
Okay.
And my mom, I mean, they both had their humor, but my mom and my dad, and sometimes I joke it's the tears of a clown, but yeah, it's thank you. Those are kind words too, but my dad was the character.
Yeah, my dad was too.
Yeah.
He was funny also.
My mom was just a very formal, wonderful woman.
She helped John Nardelli keep the county clerk's office straight.
She did. We were talking. My mom and dad both worked with the county. For many years. My dad retired from the county after years. He, as I said, he was a Black Seal and a Blue Seal operator and the mail person for the county for years. And my mom worked for 25 years or so in the Cumberland County Clerk's office as the head docket clerk with John Nardelli and Teresa Van San and all the great people that worked there. She did. And then she came and she worked for me. With me in my law office.
That's super.
Yeah, and she said she came to count the money and she wasn't busy enough. And so that's what she did. But she was a great lady, a very, very special lady, and my dad was a good man.
I'm sure.
And I was lucky. I had parents that really supported me throughout my life, and I said to somebody the other night, it's tough when you're an orphan. It's tough when they're both gone.
Yeah, it is.
You miss them.
Yeah. One of the things I used to, when I was the mayor of Millville, I used to do ride-alongs with the police officers. And one of my very favorite police officers was Larry Mulford. And I said to Hal before we went on the air today, and, was because Larry and I would talk, and he just loved you. He just would talk about, and he had a great sense of humor too. I'm thinking, well, maybe it runs in the family line here, because I really enjoy, and I still do when I see him. I still enjoy his company. He's just and it being you as a judge and a lawyer, him as a police officer, it's nice to see. You sort of have to have a sense of humor. Sometimes you'd be going bananas with him.
I worked a long time with Larry, and we worked together. I was prosecutor when he was here, and there were a lot of good people like Michael Santiago and Michael Cologne, and I don't want to Bill Smith. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings by not saying their name, but they were great to work with, I told you I'm probably related to a Mulford because my maternal grandfather's name was William Mulford Johnson, and he was a clerk in Fairfield Township for over 30 years. Yeah.
That's neat.
So it sort of runs in the family. And my grandfather on the other side, Leslie Weaver Johnson, was the tax collector in Upper Deerfield until the day he passed away.
That's something.
There's a plaque on the wall, and when we had the Upper Deerfield meeting, I could go, look, that's my grandfather.
Oh, that's neat.
It's a
that
long
really
history
cool.
of sort of being involved in government in my family. Maybe that's why I was always drawn to it so much.
Yeah, that really explains it, I guess, a lot as well. So when you were doing your law practice, you mentioned Capizzola, Feynman, and who else?
It was Capizzola, Feynman, and O'Neill, Joe O'Neill.
Okay, that's
Capizzola, O'Neill, and Feynman.
Right.
And then Mr. O'Neill broke off and created his own firm, and I worked for a short time with him, and then with Steve Nieder.
Yeah.
And then I spent a little time with Basil and Testa.
Did you really?
With Frank
Mike
Basil
Testa
and Mike
Sr.
Testa, wonderful, the senators.
Well, there was an opposites there, right?
Oh, they're just great law. They were,
Very
Frank
good
Basil
lawyers,
was the greatest lawyer in the world, and Michael Testa is the one, the greatest, one of the best lawyers, if not the best lawyer in Cumberland County, and the senator is a great lawyer.
I got to tell you, and this is the truth, Mike Testa Sr. and Jr., you don't find a better father-son combination. And, of course, I just really admire them. And what Mike Testa Jr. has done has been tremendous in turning around the county. I mean, as a Democrat, I have to give him credit. He's turned this county to a Republican county. I think right now there are only 2 Democrat mayors in the county of Cumberland. That's Bridgeton and Fairfield Township. And the townships, 14 municipalities, Millville and Vineland, of course. I love Anthony Fanucci. What a great guy. And Millville has a wonderful young lady, Lisa Orndorff, who's Republican, is the mayor there. I got a funny story to tell you. Kenny Wilton's a friend of mine in Morris River Township. And about a year and a half ago, he called me up. He said, "Hey, Jim, I just want to let you know I'm flipping. I'm going to become a Republican." I said, "Good for you. You'll win." And he did. And another friend of mine in Commercial Township, Mike Vizard, he called me and said, "Jim, I'm flipping." I said, "Well, proud of you, and you're still there." So,
well, to be a county administrator and to be able to say to the county commissioners, "Do I have your permission to contact the senator?" And the senator, if we need help, he always calls us back. His staff and the assemblyman's staff, they bend over backwards to help us as a county government, and to have government working for the taxpayers as we can. It's a wonderful thing to be able to work as that team. And the support that they give us and that Senator Testa gives us is, and the commissioners, is just it's invaluable, and it's enormous. It's just wonderful to have that help.
Boy, that is a great thing, because when you think back, I was a county commissioner for 15 years, a freeholder commissioner, 9, and then I went back for 6 more. And during that period of time, Jeff Andrew is amazing. If you, in our lifetime, Hal, I look back at the legislation, District 1, where Senator is coming from, and the assemblyman, everybody now is Republican. But even like Jim Hurley, Cafaro, Chinizzi, they were all Republican all the time. Cape May County is about 80% Republican, so it's almost impossible for a Democrat to win. To Jeff Andrew's credit, no, I take that back. Ed Salmon won a 2-year term as assemblyman, and then he was out very quickly. But other than that, there's not been any Democrats in the legislative one district, because of the great work, and the numbers of people obviously help. The percentage in Cape May County is tremendously Republican.
I remember when Congressman Van Drew was first running for Senate, or I think he was actually running for Assembly at the time. And I just remember, I lived in Millville at the time for a very short time period, and I just remember him being out in the neighborhood by Holly Heights School every weekend. You would see him out there knocking on doors, and I remember saying to my wife, I said, he's working so hard, he's knocking on so many doors, even though this district has historically been Republican.
Sure, exactly.
He could win because he's really working hard, and he did, and he won, and then he got to be the senator, and then he got to be a congressman, and now, again, don't get me wrong, he's a part of the team when we can use him.
That's what I was going to say. It's wonderful now because he's a Republican.
When we talk about things like the wonderful achievement that Down Township has achieved with the facility down there for solid waste, and the help that he has given to that, and the help that Senator Testa gave to them and Senator Durr gave to them was invaluable. And when we have a problem such as, there's a place in Morris River along the old bridge where the bulkhead is crashing, and there's a road that we're going to have a meeting, the road to the oyster plant in Money Island is failing, and you call the congressmen and you call the senators, and they're going to be out there with us, and we're going to do everything we can to try to fix that county road on behalf of, because the oyster industry is coming back, and it's very exciting.
It really is.
We want to make sure that they don't fail because of a road.
Well, and you make a really good point, and that's what, when I look at the period of time when I was in government, except for the time that Jeff Andrew was a Democrat and was a senator, and he had his 2 assembly people, Bruce Land and Matt Milam, with him, and he had all that power, because when he became the congressman as a Democrat, he put the Jeff Andrew team together with Andrew Zach and Milam and Bruce Land. They lost. Without him being there physically, he couldn't transfer his name to the team, and they were out. And in my lifetime, and I'm old, I don't think we'll ever see a Democrat-controlled legislation for District 1 because of the large amount of people in Cape May County. And to Senator Testa's credit and the Republican Party in Cumberland County, they've been working and working and working to the point where it is a Cumberland County is now a Republican county, where for many, many, many years, you were able to win on that rain,
48 out of 50.
Yeah.
48 out of 50. I had the honor of the voters of Cumberland County placing me in office that was a freeholder at the time,
Yes.
a commissioner today, with Jeff Trout, Mike Trout's father,
there you go.
and Jimmy Sorrow, who's running again this year.
Great guy.
The old guys are trying to stay in county government a little bit. He and I, sorry, Jimmy, I know you don't want me to say that, but he and I and Jeff Trout won in 1999. We took office in 2000, and then in 2002, Mary Gruccio won.
I love Mary.
And we had 4 seats, and that was the first time
that's right. Jimmy became director.
In many years, and Jimmy became the director in 2002, and they made me a judge. I think they were. I like to sometimes flatter myself and think they were trying to get rid of me, but that's probably giving myself too much credit. But and then there was another time when I think it was Mr. Crispin and Thomas Shepard, and there was one other time when the Republicans controlled for 1 year.
They did.
50.
Yes, that's true.
But this time Republicans.
Carl Kirstein.
Carl Kirstein, that's it. Carl Kirstein.
Right.
And this time Republicans have control for 2 years. This year, 2023 and 2024, unless something unexpected happens.
I don't think so.
And then there are 3 seats up this year, and 2 incumbent Democrats decided not to run, and then there's one Democrat that was appointed to fill Mr. Castellini's seat, who is running, and so it'll, but I'll do my job no matter who the commissioners are. I'll do what they tell me to do, what the majority tells me to do, and the team and I will execute it to the best that we can, their instructions and their what they ask us to do.
Well, the county's very fortunate. And as I said, I was so happy when they told me that you were going to be the county administrator. I thought, my God, couldn't find anybody better to do that. And, I thank you for taking on that responsibility. I know you didn't have to. And speaking of wonderful people, this man is so lucky. His wife, Hope, is a sweetheart. And I miss you guys. We used to get together at Winfield's. Hope and Hal and I would sit there and have dinner or something and talk. And of course, he as you see, he's got a great sense of humor. Hal does, and Hope is a sweetheart. She's a principal at
she's principal at Johnstone Middle School in Vineland. She was principal at Memorial, and at one time principal of Landis.
That's what I thought.
And in Vineland, I'm not Judge Johnson. I'm not Administrator Johnson. I'm Mr. Hope in Vineland. That's who I am, and many parts of Cumberland County. And it's whoever I see. It's like, how you doing, Hal, and how's Hope?
And I like it too because it's Hal and Hope, H&H.
And HJ squared we call it. Hope Johnson, Hal Johnson.
I was so happy one night. I was at Marigi's Savoy Inn. I hadn't seen Hope and Hal in a long time because Savoy's closed, or Winfield's is closed. But it was so good to see you guys there. And, as I say, both of them have great personalities and love to help people. And, she's had a wonderful career in education.
Well, she's an angel. She's put up with me for 30 years married, let alone the years before. So I don't know how she's done it. And she's going to go to the gates of St. Peter and just walk right through. And, that'll be it. But she's a wonderful woman, a wonderful friend.
That's what's nice.
My best friend and
wife,
the best wife in the world. So
that's great.
Not a bad thing I can say.
No, you're a lucky man. We'll be back with this lucky man, who is Hal Johnson, the county administrator, former Superior Court judge, former Cumberland County freeholder, and we'll do all that right after these messages.
I'm Brian Lankin, third-generation business owner, Al Shoes. Been at the same location since 1961, our 61st year. We specialize in work boots, work shoes, orthopedic shoes, baby walking shoes, and school shoes. We go up to a men's 17 and a woman's 13. It's $5 off, $25, and $10 off $100 if you mention that you've seen this.
The most important decisions a family can make are usually made around the kitchen table. At DeMarco Luisi Funeral Home, we believe pre-planning and the difficult decisions you face with the loss of a loved one should also be made around the comfort of a table, like a family. Our friendly, kind, and compassionate staff is committed to helping you get through this most difficult time. In your time of need, trust DeMarco Luisi Funeral Home, Vineland.
In Cumberland County, let's recycle right. We recycle cardboard, paper, aluminum, tin, and plastics number 1 and 2. Look for the 3-arrow triangle usually on the bottom of the plastic container. The number in the center determines the plastic number. Remember to recycle only number 1 and 2 plastics. Plastic bags, plastic film, hoses, and wires are not recyclable. They can damage sorting equipment and create hazardous working conditions. Don't trash our future. Do the right thing. Remember, reduce, reuse, and recycle.
Complete Care has some big news to share with you,
We're here opening more locations and offering more services every day.
including our newest locations on Pearl Street in Bridgeton and High Street in Millville.
We're here with convenient, high-quality, and accessible healthcare services all under one roof.
We're here just a call or email away.
We're here to provide compassionate care for you and your family.
We're here and we're ready when you are.
Complete Care Health Network, ready when you are.
At Mintz Insurance, we're proud to have been serving our customers for nearly 80 years, offering 30 different insurance products for your auto, home, and business. And to help ensure that you're getting the best rates possible, we give you up to 3 quotes for every policy, so you can choose what's right for you. At Mintz, we're part of the community, local representatives, supporting events, and proud of it. It's part of who we are. Mintz Insurance. Call today and find out how we can help you save on insurance, or visit us at mintzinsurance.com.
Welcome back to South Jersey. My special guest this evening is the County Administrator, Hal Johnson, former Superior Court judge, former attorney, and all kinds of great things that he's done. What a great career you've had, Hal. I'm so happy for you, and thank you for taking on the position as County Administrator. I know you didn't have to do that, but I know you love this county, and you're putting your workforce forward to help it become moving forward. During the break, you had mentioned to me that one of my favorite areas was West Millville, and in fact, they were talking about, I don't know if they put in solar fields on Nab Avenue. Have they done that?
Well, they haven't done that,
okay.
but I know that it's a possibility that it's in the works.
Right.
We don't have a lot to do with that. That would be between the landowner and the private dealer, but what we're talking about is there has been a proposal. We're working with the landowner as to the possibility of extending Nab Avenue from its intersection with Route 49 to near to the intersection of Buckshootum Road and Ferreton Millville Road.
Oh, that'd be super.
In fact, possibly even making it a sort of roundabout at Ferreton Millville Road, Buckshootum Road, and the Nab Avenue extension coming in, making Nab Avenue at Route 49 probably a tri-colored traffic light, which would involve the state. But it's really up to the landowner and what the landowner will allow us to do. And so representatives of the city of Millville and myself have been talking with the landowner and hoping to work things out. But the thought is that that would be a really great thing for Cumberland County and for the city of Millville for this reason, and that is coming off of Route 55, you could come down Sherman Avenue, which is a very good basic, it's a 2-lane road, but it's really a 4-lane road, and then on to Nab Avenue, which would be a 4-lane road, and then right on the Buckshootum Road down to the area of the Millville Airport, down to the area of the racetrack, down to the area of the Millville Industrial Park, down to, there's a motocross track down there also, a dirt track where young people come. And it's thought that that would really help Cumberland County and Millville, on a Friday or on a Friday night or a Thursday night, very often has the trucks with the big trailers coming down High Street or coming down 2nd Street and turning on to Route 49 and going up Cedarville, Cedarville Road. And it would be much easier for them to do that route that we described than to come through the congestion that often exists in downtown Millville. And it would be good for the businesses, it would be good for the racetrack, it would be good for, as I said, the businesses in the industrial park to do something like that. And this group of commissioners was very much very aware of that possibility, and it was another instruction that they gave me very quickly as I was given the honor of serving in the position, and they said, please, let's go talk with Brock Russell and with the business administrator in Millville, which I've done, and with Commissioner Albrecht, Director Albrecht, and we're doing our best to try to bring that to fruition. We're doing, and it's a long process.
Yeah,
it'll be at least a 3 or 4 year process. But the most important thing is we have to make an agreement with the landowner.
Yeah,
and let's hope that we can, and we'll do our best.
Well, that would be great. In fact, it's funny. The other day I had to come over to your administration building and sign some papers, and I was in Vineland at Larry's too, and I ended up coming down, getting across Sherman Avenue, and like you say, it's nice. It's not really that busy, and I get to Nab Avenue, I make a left on Nab, then I make a right on 49 to head over the administration building. So
one of our big projects, one of the projects that I had the honor of bringing to a close was that little cutoff road off of Lincoln Avenue.
Oh, what a great job that is!
That's a county road. I keep forgetting what the name of that road is. But
Burns Road.
Burns, that's it. Burns Avenue. But Burns Avenue. You're right. Yeah. Burns Avenue was a city project, and then the county and the city teamed up. And we helped and we worked with the city, and the county had some money available, and they helped the city of Vineland do that road and finish that road. And we just finished that project a few months after this group of commissioners came into control.
Boy, I go that way a lot because I go to the Quinn restaurant in Vineland, where it's just one of my advertisers. And folks, I'm telling you, $25 you get 2 meals, and I'm not talking about little meals, full meals. You get soup or salad, entree, vegetable, and dessert for $12.50, but you got to have a friend, so it becomes $25 for the two. If you're by yourself, it's $13.99. Still very, very reasonable. But I go there a lot, and coming from Union Lake area where I live, I shoot over and end up on Burns Road or Burns Avenue, and then it's just wonderful the way that is. And even if I'm coming from south, like off Wheaton Avenue, I just go up Lincoln, but then on the way back, I've got that great new road there where I can make the left, and it's.
But Mayor Finucci has been a great help to me. He's another person who will always return my phone call.
Isn't he great?
Yeah. Being in the job that I was in for 20 years, and then jumping into this job, it was sort of a switch, and you had a lot of questions sometimes. And between Senator Testa and Mayor Finucci and the commissioners, Director Albrecht and Joe Saleo and Tory Loads and all of them, they really have helped us along and helped me and the team, and we do our best.
Yeah, well, there's good people. In fact, Tony Romero helped me build the cable television system back in 1980 and 81. He was working with teleprompter, and so I'll never forget him. So, yeah, they're good people that you've talked about, and I mean, I give them a lot of credit, and they're there for the right reasons. To make the county a better place. And the other thing we didn't talk about, and I'm sure you were helpful with it, was no tax increase. That's almost unheard of.
Yeah, we had no tax increase this year.
Wow.
The director worked very, very hard with the chief financial officer, a young man named Jeff Ridgway.
I love that guy. He's got almost as good a personality as you.
Yeah,
He's great.
They worked very, very hard. And the other commissioners worked very hard. And, the 18 county departments, there's 16 county departments right now. There are going to be 18 county departments. They work very hard and tighten their belt. And to all those department heads and all those people who work so hard, absolutely no tax increase this year. And they they're very proud of that. The commissioners
Yeah.
are very proud of that.
Yeah.
And and the other day the chief financial officer came in, and I don't even know this is public yet, but he was very, very, very proud. And they had made an application right at the time this commission took over, and there was $1.8 million awarded to us for housing the inmates over last year.
I see.
And that'll add and make that budget. We really cut it down to the bare bones, and that'll give us a little breathing room. It's a great thing, and I give him credit and Director Albrecht credit for allowing him to make that attempt, and it worked.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it worked.
It really
so
is.
It was exciting.
And I know we talked earlier about middle wire or whatever. I guess what it is, folks, is we realized during COVID how important it is to be able to have internet throughout all of Cumberland County, and I know you guys are working on what's best way to go about that.
There has been offered to the county a substantial amount of money, and to the Salem County, it's a sort of joint venture, so to speak. It would involve both county commissions, and what I can say to everyone is the commissioners have instructed me and the team and I to be very open and transparent. It will be our plan to have open public meetings, to let everybody have their say, to let the people that are in support of this project to explain why they believe it's in the best interest of the county, and to allow those who may not think it's that great of an idea to ask questions and or to voice their opposition to this. And I believe it will be a very difficult decision for the commissioners to make, because there could be a bit of a risk to the county financially. It's great to get the $30 million for Salem and for Cumberland, but there is a matching part of it. $6 million to be paid by Cumberland, $4 million to be paid by Salem. Some of it for us will be in-kind contributions because we are building towers.
Well, that's good.
But then, we're going to have to see new things have happened since then. President Biden has come in and said that he's going to put billions of dollars in. It's called BEAD money, B-E-A-D, and I can't remember what the acronym stands for. But that money will be involved also. And so the commissioners are going to have a very difficult decision. But what I can say to the citizens and taxpayers of Cumberland County is that the commissioners have said open, transparent, all the meetings necessary to let everybody have their say, ask questions, have questions answered, allow people to present, and it will be a very open process.
And that's where, again, as I say, I'm so proud of the commission, the commissioners, where the transparency is there. Every single meeting is televised. It's live on Channel 22. It's on Facebook. It's on YouTube. And if you miss it, you can go back and watch it on Facebook or YouTube at any time. And that's something, as we talked about, unfortunately, there just aren't any local newspaper coverage anymore. And that's not just here. It's everywhere.
And I'd love to give a shout out to the Deputy Business Administrator, Luz Vasquez, and the wonderful website to everyone, Cumberland County. Look up the Cumberland County website. The Cumberland County website is different. It's new. It has new pictures on it. We had a competition, not a competition. We said to the citizens of Cumberland County, send us your best pictures.
Oh, that's great.
And we're going to pick a few of them, and we're going to put them on our website. So we have 20 pictures on the Cumberland County website that roll in there, all pictures that were chosen sort of subjectively by people, including me. And we said, that's a great picture. And boy, the pictures that we didn't use were great, too. And in this last county meeting, we were able to bring everyone up who took a picture.
I saw those people.
And many of them came, and we gave them their certificates of appreciation.
And that was neat.
It surprised me how many pictures we received. It was fun. And Toulouse and setting up that website, it's a wonderful website. It's expanding every day.
That's great.
And so please don't hesitate, everyone, to go look at that website. It's a great website.
And I believe we also, the county commission meetings, at least George downloads them. I think they may be there. as well on the website.
Yeah, I do believe they are. If they're not, we want them to be.
No, I know every day when he comes back, he makes sure he says, I got to put these out there for the website. And I don't know Lou's, but I've heard a lot of good things about her. I unfortunately never met her. But, I'm just, again, so glad you're there. And things have been moving along very well. They really have. I mean, I don't know, no tax increase. And talking about the people that are working there, your department heads, you've got a lot of really good department heads. Right. That's the key. I know that Sue Sorrow, she's pretty darn good,
She's great. Sue is a great, hard-working person. She is, yeah.
She's almost as much fun as you. She's got that great sense of humor and smiles a lot like you do.
Yeah, but my wife doesn't want to go out to dinner with Sue and Jim and me because all we talk about is county business.
That's true.
She needs some teachers and some other principals to talk to. But
I have to fix you up with Tony Trongone, the superintendent of Millville Schools. What a great guy.
Yeah.
Hope would like him. They could talk. In fact,
I'm sure.
Tori works for him now. Tori's at Millville High School. Tori
That's
Lowe's,
right.
And, Tony is just
I know, that's great.
Super guy. Tori's like 3 minutes from her house now. She was working in Bridgeton, but she's now teaching English at the high school here in Millville. And there's another great lady, very, very fine person that does a really good job as well. So, good group, and I'm really happy that you're there. And maybe, maybe after 2 years you could consider staying another year.
It's fun to be. It's fun to be on this team, and from the commissioners through all the people I work with. I work with a great attorney named John Carr, who was just reappointed, and I work with a great human resources director, Paige Desiri.
Yeah,
and and I've already talked about Jeff Ridgway and Lou's, and that's the team.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the 5 people, and the clerk, Kim Cataspati. She's my executive assistant.
She's super.
And we get together and we do what the commissioners ask and make suggestions to the commissioners. This is what we think you should do. They don't always listen to us, but
at least
but they're the bosses.
Yeah. It was funny. My granddaughter just graduated, and she had Brianna as her girlfriend. So we were having the graduation party, and Brianna says, "My grandmom is Kim Cataspati."
Yeah.
Kim. I said, "Oh my God, I love you."
No, Kim can't be a grandmom. Is she a grandmom? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's what she said. But
Kim, I'm trying to help you here.
You're right, Kim. I agree. You maybe your aunt or something. But I said, what 2 super people? I just really, really enjoy them too. They're good people, and Tim did a great job as the chief of police in Vineland, and I'm so glad. Kim was always on the school board and very active, and I'm glad she got that job, and she does a good job doing the reading of the resolutions.
For 20 years I said I was sort of out in the desert because in my other job I couldn't have anything to do with a politician in any way whatsoever. And now here I am in the middle of all these good people that I couldn't hang out with before, that I couldn't be around. And to the extent that I'm allowed to, because I work for all 7 commissioners, no matter what their party is, and answer to all of them. And so I have to remain as neutral as I can. But
I would be remiss if I didn't thank Carol Musso and Donna Pearson for their time and their effort that they've put in as a county commissioner and a county freeholder. Donna and I used to sit together, Carol and I used to sit together, and I don't know of any woman that works harder. She's everywhere in Cumberland County. She donates her time and is a wonderful person. I was sad to see that she and Donna didn't want to run again, but I understand and I respect their.
Donna and I served together when I was a commissioner.
Well, that's right, 99, right? In 2000.
Yeah. And we haven't said the word Lou Magazoo. We haven't.
Before you go, I got to tell you the funniest story. The guy that's running for surrogate, Skip Luisi.
I know Skip, absolutely.
He comes in and says to me, "You look like Lou Magazoo." And I said, "You know what? You're not the first person to tell me that." I was at an event with a governor in Vineland. Lou was there, and I was there, and I'm straight ahead of the governor, and the governor's going, "Lou?" Blah, blah, blah. And I go, "No." And Lou's that way. So I guess I Must have some resemblance there.
I don't know. You look like Lou Magazoo. Jim, I'm not going to say that about you.
That's good. I like you.
Lou, I like you, man, but I don't think you look like Jim Quinn, or Jim Quinn looks like you.
No.
I could tell the two of you apart.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I could tell the two
it's
of you
apart.
apart.
It's the governor to Canton,
but
and Skip kept
That's because you guys beat me to death for all those years when I was out there before.
Before you got to be the judge.
I lost a whole lot more elections than I won. But
again, that's the numbers game of Cumberland County. And even now, it's interesting. The year you won, we called it the monsoon when it rained like crazy. God bless the Republicans. They go out and vote. Getting the Democrats out to vote is very, very difficult. The only time the Democrats seem to come out and vote in good numbers is the presidential election year. The off years, they just don't come out.
The year that we won, 1999, it was 3 freeholders and a sheriff and a clerk, and there was no congressman and there was no governor, and it was that off-year election, and it rained.
Yeah.
And it rained and it rained, and we won. And Julio Mendez tells me all the time, "You only won because it rained." And,
we Democrats.
And I'm like, "No, I thought it was the campaign I ran. Say no to 7-0." And,
That's true.
Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see.
Hey, buddy, great to have you.
Thank you so much.
You got to promise me to come back sometime.
Thank you for the honor of allowing me to be here,
pleasure.
and I'll come back anytime.
My pleasure. And just got to tell me where you and Hope are hanging out. I'll have to come see you.
Well, you've seen us. You see us. I'm not going to start saying names of restaurants. I'll get myself in trouble.
Exactly.
But you know where I go.
I do. I will be out there to see you guys. Tell Hope I said hello to
I will. Thank you so
much.
much.
Our guest has been the County Administrator, Hal Johnson, former Superior Court Judge, and quite a nice gentleman. And I thank him for joining us. I thank you for joining us tonight here on Around South Jersey. And I thank my producer, George Kachia, for producing our program tonight. Take care. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
This has been a QBC television production, in association with our partners and sponsors. QBC broadcasts on Comcast Cable Channel 22, and live streams its programming on Facebook and YouTube. All rights reserved by Quinn Media and QBC, programming that serves the South Jersey market.